Hello. All right, welcome back, everybody. Chris's pet sitting. Sweet old baby. Just a sweet old baby. But yes, firstly, I do need to apologize because there was like a full schedule of a whole bunch of games, and the schedule dragon was very upset this season, so there's just been a lot of schedule mix-ups, but also I got very sick for like the past week or two, so that's where there really just hasn't been any games, like between the two. It's been rough.
I've been struggling.
But I think we found some syncage with, or we at least have an opening for a game for Campaign 2 next week. So we'll do that on Wednesday night. Might be looking at Thursday for some more Alien games. I said all TBD. If you are interested in doing the Alien games, then pop into the game chat and let me know. But otherwise I'll do a roll call announcement sometime, probably like Monday or Tuesday. But with that being said, yeah, this whole, I would say Who Wants to Do a Recap, but this whole episode, I had to call it episode 42, okay? I'm sorry. We cannot be a nerdy community and not call this episode 42. We can't. All right. We need
Epilogue.
To
get... Wait, Epilogue, though.
I mean, technically you guys are going to be talking about what your character would be doing after.
What we're doing afterwards?
Yep, but I would say, per the normal, let's go ahead and start with, like, just talking about stuff that happened in the campaign, and, like, what are some of your favorite parts, and, because we've been going for 2 years, and you guys started at a funeral in the middle of this farming town with this bouncing tavern lady handing out buns all day.
Oh no, I missed that.
Honestly, kind of really the favorite part of the campaign was that starting area.
Oh dang. It was
Dude,
all downhill from there.
Simultaneously, my favorite and least favorite was that I was trying to figure out anything about my patron for tens of episodes, and the first roll that Chris made immediately gave him the answer.
Yeah. And didn't you grab a few rolls after the fact that you were still trying to
I was still trying to catch up afterwards.
Yeah. That's so funny. There was heaps of instances like that. Heaps of times that I should have been strong or dexterous. Nope.
No.
Nope.
But lore, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Knowing stuff.
What, you want to be cool? You want to look like an anime character? No.
No.
Eat dirt.
And
Wait,
then you
what was
turned
that?
into a badass fighting your own wife and son.
Yo, what was that animal?
Yeah,
what was
the-
the animal that ran you over?
Is it
Like
the
Oh, the
Epilogue?
Ekiren? Yeah, the
horse
horse.
you got like
Yeah.
run over.
Heaps of stuff like that, yeah.
all the emotion around Moshi's brother just for me to eviscerate an image of him in one round.
Oh no. Trauma times 2.
Yeah, emotional damage.
Actually, that was a big, huge reveal for me. You hid that heaps well, Tish, when you were like, Lunori's family fucking killed my family. I'm like, oh no, that's why they don't like me. Oh
That's
no,
why I don't like you.
how do I reconcile this? But I can't reconcile this because I don't know these things.
Here I was thinking that he just didn't like the cops. No, specifically doesn't like me.
Yeah. No, I liked playing that. I tried to like see how long I could go without like actually
Exploding.
Spilling the
explaining
beans.
or explaining like why
Yeah.
Moshi was so angry and
Oh my god, honestly, that
quite far.
that honestly played such an amazing part of Moshi. Like, that is one of the things that I loved is, like, you know, as a DM, I want you guys to, like, build your characters and explore them and talk, you know, and, like, you guys explore with each other and whatever. But anytime Moshi's personal history came up, you just clammed up. And it's like, you know, it's like, from an outside view, you know, one could, like, kind of see that as, oh, you don't want to roleplay, you don't want to, it's like, no, you were intentionally doing that. And it played so well into Moshi's character, where Moshi's like, I don't want to fucking talk about my, you know, we're not talking about that. No, we're not. You know, and it's like, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You got no idea how frustrating it was too. Like you were like trying to like get some info on Moshi, and it's like, why? Just open up to me, cat. Open up to me. Stop being a cat.
I don't know you.
Yeah, just like anybody's cat, which is funny too. Like the irony of
Cat's
it never left me.
Oh goodness. Yeah.
All right,
But,
Joseph, we're gonna circle back over to you real quick. What did you love about the early chapters the most? Like, what made them stand out to you?
Well, mostly because we're meeting people and we had the really fun introductions to everybody. Like, Soren was a freshborn, quote unquote freshborn, destroying everyone's like sanity by plucking his head off, and then that became his thing for the longest time. I especially love the part where Aya was basically just pissing off Moshi pretty much the entire way.
The 6-inch motor hobo.
Yeah. And we also stole a extremely important item at the very start of the game that we then proceeded to basically exploit for the rest of the game.
Stole.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She was aware of us the entire time.
Still fun.
So yeah, this whole introductory part was super chill and full of shenanigans that I really loved that part.
I think there was a part where we were like at a dinner party or something, and like Soren was like seeing colors, like the Aether was like he could like see colors. I thought that was so cool. What's mine? What's mine?
Meanwhile, the rest of us got fucking shit faced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was the first time I tried to absorb the Aether of food or drink.
Oh yeah.
And
I
succeeded partially, I think, I believe.
To an extent.
Yeah. Because they're trying to get you to eat this delicious sweet buns.
Yeah.
And
You
just
felt
shoving
so-
them into your rock face doesn't quite help.
Smashing them into the...
It's just not fair, man.
Like a slow-eating cookie monster. Heaps of cool little instances like that. I unintentionally became the dad of the group, which was
No.
No, I think you were the dad of the group.
Your
all the
character
way.
was a literal father,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
And you were town guard.
He,
So-
he was he was trying to be a big bro, but he just ended up being dad, and it's just like, oh, man.
I loved the dynamics that like each of our characters had.
Yeah.
Just the
Yeah, truly.
natural like way that things played out. It was funny.
Thorn like definitely felt like the family. Like he had 2 sisters and 2 brothers,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
And their
like
pet rock. It worked out perfectly.
exactly. He was the pet rock. It worked out really well for like, cause he shows up and suddenly he's got a family that
Mm.
like developed over time. Yeah, it was really nice
Mm.
being able to play that out. I didn't get to fully develop all my my shades, but each of them were definitely gonna like take on a characteristic of each of you. Like,
Yeah.
thought it was funny that I managed to pair Moshi's foil to himself.
Yeah.
Our package deal now.
Because Barrel's so sassy and like about everything. She's perfect for Moshi.
I know. What I loved about it was like Moshi was kind of like Duck. He was like, how do I interact like with myself? Basically, he was like dumped. About,
God, I
like, how
hate
to-
me.
I know. How do I reach her? Yeah. It was
Oh no, I'm having an existential crisis.
Hold up.
So that's
Um,
why people.
Actually, Aya's character, was she meant to be Chaos Goblin, or was she supposed to be like a nature goblin? And why is it a Chaos Goblin?
Well, this was my first campaign ever, and it was just more of a what could I get my hands on when I made
Yeah.
Aya. And so Richelle knocked down because I was supposed to actually be able to combination of like 2 races and have 2 different types of magic, right? And then
Right.
Richelle was like, "Nah, changed my mind," and what came out was Aya.
yeah, just like keep it simple. This is your first campaign.
Yeah.
Just knock it
Yeah,
down.
it would have been a
notch.
lot cooler though if I could have caused more chaos.
But now you know how to do it, so maybe Aya could learn some more things.
Yeah, we went back to the Citadel. We're definitely learning some more things.
Well, I can assure you the next character I make is going to be a Chaos Goblin.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It is.
It is
Yeah.
quite
So much
fun.
Yeah.
Just
Listen,
go
I
rinse your
figure
mouth
it-
out from Zenori.
Yeah, I think that just ends up being like what comes out of my personality, anyways. Because like for campaign 2, I've kind of become a chaos goblin as well, in a different way, but still a chaos goblin. And then I play in a 3rd campaign, and yeah, I am chaos.
I think there's like a couple like standout types of D&D players. Like there's the people that know exactly what they want to be and they find different ways to do it, and then there's the people that like to kind of like diversify. I'm definitely one of the I know what I want to do and I kind of find different ways to do it. Just like I feel like it's the same with you.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like I'm
you
the
find a
latter.
flavor
I'm like,
you
I'm not
like.
sure.
Absolutely.
I loved like kind of like as like my personality, I like to plan things, but with Moshi I was just like whatever. Like kind of like I had like an idea come into my head and I was like, let's just act on it.
Oh, we hit level 3 and Soren's here. I guess I'll learn magic now.
Yeah. I love like we'll be talking to somebody, I'll be like, can I steal from him? I don't know how many
The-
times that happened.
The
Like,
group
can I
effort to steal that bag of holding was really funny.
Yeah.
Bro.
You know, I expected some teamwork along the way. That was very extra.
That was the beginning. And
It was
Nothing
hard
was
to.
ever-
Oh no, you guys go.
I want to know from everybody, what is one thing that like you wanted to give your character the opportunity to do, like during the story, like something that you had thought about that like you really wanted to pull off that either you didn't get to or you wanted to do like something else in the moment that you didn't end up, like something else happened, like one of us did something, or did anything get cut off?
I didn't successfully make it to the point that I had spy flowers.
oh boy.
Not only that, I know like y'all all know, but I kept touching trees because I was planning on like learning teleportation. I'm sure to anyone else that like didn't know that, that probably looked real crazy because I'm like, is the tree large?
I'm
And it's
touching
just,
that tree.
like, let me touch it. And
Can
I'm
I
sure that,
stroke
like,
the tree?
I'm sure to the outside it just looks like I have an obsession with like large plants, right? But there is one where you can like teleport through large trees designed for like nature magic. So I was like, but the key component here is that you've touched the tree.
Yeah.
So I was just going around like, when I learn this eventually, we won't have to travel anymore. We're gonna go through the trees. This never happened.
You guys thought she was just a tree lover, but really she was a tree lover with a plan.
It's
yeah.
true.
A tree-loving chaos goblin. But oh man. This
With
is
a penchant for violence, yeah, that doesn't make me sound great.
We got Aya. Who's next?
I know definitely one thing that I didn't quite get to explore, but it was touched upon, is Zunori's PTSD.
Oh, yeah.
And I was, depending on how far we went, I was basically having been pushed to the brink, where it like interfered, for good or bad. But like he, yeah, I kind of keep that to myself because there could be stuff in the mix. But yeah,
That's honestly a part I was hoping to bring out with fighting the rogue mage at the end. But somebody had to be a baller and just wreck the whole battle.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Like from my perspective, because I didn't open up about it. Zanori didn't open up about it. He was reeling. He was in a bad state. But he was trying to keep it together because he's like, my problems don't equal the mass of the entire universe. And it's just like, you have to lump it. But that's constantly what Zunori's character is. He's taking the weight of the world on his shoulders and compressing himself down. And I just wanted that to be unleashed eventually. But we'll have to see.
Topic, so around the Eventide Forest incident, where I just fucked with every single one of you, how did you feel about that exploration of your PTSD and like about me like giving you disadvantage on specific roles?
It wasn't so much traumatic for him. Like seeing refugee camp was traumatic. He was trying not to.
No, not the refugee camp. Before that, when you guys.
The dream thing.
Yeah.
The which? Sorry.
The dream thing in the forest.
Yeah, like we went in and like y'all got knocked out.
Well, you got to understand that that's probably a recurring thing for Zunori. He's used to that. You know, like it's not so much. It probably how to say this right. it's not that it wasn't profound. It's just something that he's experienced more times than he cares to remember. You know, like it's yeah, suppression basically. But he's I like to think actually a good example that I can think of, if you know the reference, Mob Psycho 100.
When
He's
it
like
takes up
Shigeo.
to the
Yeah. He always pushed 90%, and he almost got to 100%. Remember when we had that fight, and somebody went to grab me on the shoulder, and I turned around like I was going to react, like badly. That was 99%. He was nearly there. Yeah. But it
That's
never. Yeah. I tried to make him deep. It's but it was so hard. It's not. No, it wasn't even that it was so hard. It's that the family-like nature of our group made it very easy for Zenori to like let go of things. But yeah, the fact that he had his family taken away from him and his wife becoming effectively a god, like he's kind of like torn between two worlds. He's like, Judy, me, gods, and he's like, there's so much dimension, and I'm just like, oh no, this poor guy's gonna lose his banana if he gets pushed the wrong way. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we really went super duper deep into most of the backstories. Like, it was towards the end, anyways, that we started figuring out like Moshi's stuff, right? And like Moshi's is the one that we went the furthest into, I think, right? But like, besides that, like one sentence when everybody else was knocked out in the forest, my apparent backstory wasn't touched because I have no clue what the fuck my backstory is at all. Still, right? And like, our ending was Soren's backstory.
Yeah, that was wild.
Right? But like, Soren didn't have a backstory. So like, none of it really got touched on for anyone.
No, I don't. It's more so that we are tiny little fragments in a giant story.
Because the
Like
story
real
was
life,
like
kind of.
saving the world. It wasn't like, you know.
Yeah.
I think the split off things will be more.
Yeah.
You know, it more of like the character origins and the endings are more like afterwards, because I think it didn't matter where it started. We kind of got sucked up into what we were doing.
All right,
That's
Joseph.
like yeah.
I was just gonna continue on the missed opportunities before we get too far off track.
Honestly, like I feel like Vanya's backstory got explored quite a little bit, but this is one thing that I discussed with Richelle before the campaign started, and I feel like we kind of got so lost and having fun that I didn't get to explore the personality of Ivania very much, in the sense that she was supposed to be, she didn't feel always like natural being a she, so she's always trying to like figure out who she actually is. But we never actually fully addressed that part, and Ivania just felt like this very carefree person that just went from place to place committing crimes with you guys.
just went from questioning to all of a sudden accepted.
Yeah. But I think in its own way, it got addressed. Like, it's not something that needed to be actively pursued, I guess. Yeah. And with the band, it didn't feel like there was a specific label for Ivania. Well, that was fine, yeah.
You are my partner in crime. I blood bonded to you. Okay. After you got kidnapped by mushrooms, which I'm still not over.
Holy, I forgot about that.
you were kidnapped as a child, and you
I get
managed
kidnapped
to
again.
get kidnapped by a plant.
Again.
Look, there was different motivations. One was like, she was a child. She couldn't have done anything. Vanya was just like whisked away. But this one, Vanya could do something, and she wanted to help. She didn't want to like leave someone behind, knowing that it might doom them for the rest of their lives. You know?
But from our perspective, we're like, you crazy bitch! What are you doing?
Well, I mean, like, the one piece of backstory, like, you all knew because, like, I ended up taking over, like, an NPC because it just lined up right, was that
Yeah.
I helped the witch, like, traverse that, so I could have acted as an anchor and I was right there. Like, the whole time we've been like, we do shady shit together, shady shit twins. And then he was like, psych, I'm out, bitch.
Actually, I just realized why you're a chaos goblin in this thematically in this story. Like the witch that we actually like got you from. Holy,
She's a
she
bit
was a bit
chaotic.
Looney Tunes.
Oh.
Yeah,
Leaf Tira, yeah.
yeah. Oh, that was one. Actually,
Her daughter was a
Before I get
was
it
a
home,
woman.
before I get ahead of myself, you tell us one thing, Richelle, that you kind of, without revealing too much, I guess, that you would have liked us to explore.
So, I feel like that's a weighted question.
Oh, yeah, it is.
So, I guess the best way to answer this is just kind of explain my motivations a little bit with this whole thing. So the whole reason I wanted to start running campaigns, in my story universe, was, of course, getting into DM and writing campaigns and the whole 9 yards, and it's like, I love it to death. It's, yes. But the whole starting reason was because it's like, okay, I've been world building this world through my entire illustration degree, and we started this campaign like just a couple of months after I graduated, and the intention was honestly like, okay, here's the world mechanics. Okay, here's the laws. Here's some of the organizations. Here's some of the races. Whatever. Now what? And so I had a lot of key incidents and events, historical events. You guys, remember you guys are in the backstory. Just because that was easier than doing a sci-fi fantasy blend for my first campaign. Which is still not off the table. That is still on the table. But either way, so it's like I essentially had this historical account of events that had happened. You're looking in, I'm going to age myself with this. So you open up the encyclopedia, right? And you look up, what happened with the world builders in this year. And you get this little brief synopsis. What happened in that? And that's, I honestly did not set too many expectations, like just starting out right out the gate. Because like I said, as long as, the laws of the realm were followed, essentially, like the physics laws of the realm. And, you guys were staying true to, like, the races, but also true to, like, your characters themselves. I honestly had zero idea what was even going to happen, or, things that I wanted to see happen. There were a couple, you guys had about 5 different main storyline quests that you could have followed. And so each one kind of had its own trigger, and I just kind of like, spread them out on the map essentially. And this ended up being the one that you guys followed, which kind of made me, I was like, oh no, that one. I kept trying to dangle the Sporling Crafter and like the Neferian Uprising like carrot in front of you guys, but I mean, also the world's gonna end because the world builder's sick, and I was like, you know what, even I can't compete with that, but also I gotta kill a character, so
Saving the world?
I know, right?
Come on.
So honestly, it's not that I set low expectations, it's that I set no expectations. Because what I really wanted to see was, is this, is this a world, it's not different, it's not like super, super unique, but I was like, is this a world that you guys can get lost in? That you guys just can get sucked into and enjoy time in, and, that's where I really didn't set any prior expectations. I wanted to see what you guys would do in it, and you guys did not disappoint at all.
I think we got sufficiently lost in there.
Yeah, you guys. I mean, like, from what I saw, you guys were just getting enthralled, and like it kind of makes me sad that there was as many like breaks and hiatuses as there was because the schedule dragon. But, because, like, to see you guys just, like, week to week to week to week, just with how much you invested yourselves in it, it was remarkable to see. And you guys ended up teaching me about my world by the end of it. Like, that was the gift that you guys gave to me as the DM. But yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
Did we get to Tish?
Oh, no, I didn't have, like, anything that I really wanted to, like, do. Like, that I didn't get to do. I know that I really did want to get to Moshi's his reason for everything, that his brother died, and that's like the reason why he is the way he is, and I got to do that. So, but I didn't really have any like expectations for anything else. I was just flying by the seat of my pants, I guess. I don't know.
Getting dragged along.
Although I do kind of, like, when I started, I had never done anything like this before, so I felt like, I don't want to say, like, weirded out, but, like, it was just so different from anything that I've ever done before, and I kind of wish I could, like, replay the beginning now that I've, like, like...
To give you reassurance, though, yeah, absolutely, I see where you're coming from, absolutely. Yeah. But I can assure you, character-wise, it played into Moshi better than you could have expected.
Okay,
like, you're,
as long as it's true to the character.
Yeah, well,
that's where it counts.
Yeah, it is. It's truly it. I think that's what made it, because I actually thought you intended to be that way in the beginning. I didn't realize that this was your first time playing Dungeons and Dragons, and then like, yeah, you basically were like, well, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm like, oh, okay, right, yeah.
It wasn't an act.
Not an act. This is real.
You had me fooled.
I was just so confident in my not knowing anything. Yeah.
That does bring a question. Don't worry, Soren. We're doing you next. But that does bring a question that I wanted to ask you specifically. Being totally new to Dungeons and Dragons and just the role-playing game in general. I mean, when I asked you, I was like, well, you know how to build a character. It should be fine, right? Now you kind of see what I mean, because now instead of just writing the story, you're, like, going through your character's decisions one by one. But, what do you think? How do you feel?
I had a lot of fun. I mean, like I kind of like that stuff anyway. Like, brain. Like I did a lot of acting like before when I was young, and so it was kind of like fun to like dive into that again, kind of like, and like, it was kind of neat to like just explore the character through myself. I don't know. Yeah. So it got like at first I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. This is weird. And but then like as we kept doing it, I was like, oh, like this is how it works. And like and then I like got I yeah, I like got the hang of it. But I liked it. It's a different experience, and I definitely liked the like role playing parts more than I liked the actual like fighting or like rolling the dice part. Yeah, because I like stories, and like I really liked hearing like everyone's take and everyone's stories, and even though we didn't get to touch on like a lot of backstories, I kind of liked that because that's more real. Like it's not like everybody sits down and is like, "What's your backstory?" It's like like we were kind of like learning about each other like as we went, and I thought that was like more organic. So
Seconded.
Wild.
All right, Soren. Missed opportunities.
Oh,
Go back
my
and
only
see
my
those
everybody
ripples?
went really in depth. My only wish that I could have done, I was really hoping that oh my gosh, what's his name? Guy that took Bert. I was hoping that he was at the
Kazith?
Citadel, and Kazith,
Yeah.
yep. I was hoping he was at the Citadel, and I was hoping I could have like I slip out of my chambers in the middle of the night and like slip under the door as a shadow, form in his room, and terrorize this man. I wanted to
I have
have
a particular set
full-on...
of skills.
Exactly. You took my boy. You're fucked.
Take from me, my boy. I take from you everything.
By the way,
I wanted to be terrifying.
taking Bert was, when I say you guys forced me into that, what I mean is until that second, I didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, once again, I just have this, like, I keep things loose, I keep things vague in my head because I want to make sure that you guys have the widest range of available options and choices that you can make. The thought of railroading you guys terrifies me. I would rather you guys have the choice, like an actual choice in the matter. And so, with that fight, I was like, why is Kazith terrorizing you guys? Oh, because he's been stalking you guys for a hot minute now, and he wants a piece of Soren. And Soren wasn't putting up an easy fight, but then...
I was kicking his ass.
Yeah. But then Bert strolls into his spell, and he's like, oh, this works, and yoink.
I was preparing, because I got a new spell, and it was warding glyph, something along them lines, and I could store spells in this glyph, and this guy triggered it. It would have been like literally walking on a landmine, and I was just like, oh, let me make these preps, and then he's like, oh, let's just take Bert and catch you later, and I'm like, no,
Get back here.
The level up just before that fight was when I got Counterspell, so I was itching to use it, and as soon as I was like, is that a cast? Is that a cast? Counterspell.
All right. Next question for the group.
Mm-hmm.
What parts of the campaign would you say you either hated most, were hurt by the most, your character, like, just traumatized your character, like, going dark here, like, what was the opposite end of, like, not favorite, but, like, least favorite, but, like
Like
in
my
worst ways?
character's least favorite or my least favorite?
If it's different, I would like to hear both.
Actually, no, they actually align. Never mind. I'm so sorry. I got so bored with that stupid journal. I know it was like really important and whatever, but like every time that journal came out, Moshi was like, like, oh my god. Like, I get it. Like, it was important to what you guys were doing, but I was like, oh no, it's too much. I'm gonna go to bed.
Man.
I could not follow any of that.
Oh my god, and
I
it was
think-
so poorly written. Who the fuck did that?
Yeah, I mean, like, wow, 1 star.
Funny thing about that though is like, I kind of realized about 3/4 the way through us doing both the book and the story is that we're one of the hands that the book changes through in the history of Richelle's storyline. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Like,
think so.
we're just a couple of people, but we've been dragged into a vortex of like stupendous, powerful shit, and we were just basically
just
the
happened to
delivery
be
guys. Yeah, we happened to be there, and we picked up this book, and it's like, oh, this is important. This is actually a thing.
Wait a
Like,
minute.
yeah. Oh no. But yeah.
I think I'm trying to like, because Soren was just down for the adventure, curious about everything. I'm trying to think of something he didn't like. What traumatized him was probably like on the way to see Peggy, like seeing that entire town that was dusted.
Mm.
Home? Was it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the dusty town got sworn.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
what
Moshi
about-
nearly lost it at when that Kazeth like conjured up Paka or whatever. Like,
Mm.
he was
yeah.
about to. He was like very close to going insane.
Soren was pissed. That's why that combat went the way it did.
Yeah.
Don't let the man let loose. I just had a short rest. I'm full on spell slots.
I'm ready.
So, in my head, when you were saying that, in the Star Wars TTRPG, they have a mechanic for, people who have the Force inside of them. And if things go well and they're good people, they'll, of course, go towards the Jedi end of the spectrum. If shit goes downhill, or they're just awful people, or whatever the case is, or if they get, traumatic things happen, they go towards the Sith side of things. And so you can, like, legitimately, and I know this because in one of the games that I played, I didn't know my character did not know what even anything was, but ended up inadvertently causing one of our characters to almost instantly turn Sith.
Sort of had his Sith moment.
Yeah, he totally did rampage and all, and it was like, oh shit, I'm sorry. Like, let's just write a note of apology and hope that's enough. So it's like, in my head, I was like, oh, that would have been a Sith moment for Moshi, for sure.
Yeah. So, and then like for me personally, I like the roleplay aspect and the combat aspect equally, but I think I kind of gave myself a character that I couldn't roleplay as much as I wanted to. Because like initially, like I had to do the voice and everything, and that's why that changed. Because I decided I needed to be kind of like able to talk, because we had new people. I was like, okay, I have to make a reason that he can suddenly talk normally, so that I can talk normally, so that I can talk more. But like the character that I made didn't really lend itself really to roleplay, so I kind of leaned into the combat aspect. So anytime we had combat, I was ready to go. I was like, oh yeah, we're doing cool shit with our magic. But the roleplay, I kind of had to constantly play like the shy and not as much like what I normally would play. So it was kind of out of my comfort zone. And but yeah, that was my part that I kind of like didn't like as much, that I self-inflicted.
Oh no, you challenged yourself. Darn.
Oh.
Oh,
We
no.
lost Chris. I killed
no.
Chris.
No.
Chris is having a Sith moment. He'll be right back. Soren was hated. No. Oh no. All right. Joseph.
I don't think I had a part that really hated. Like, Ivania was very happy-go-lucky the entire time. So there wasn't really a part that really hit her in the harsh spot, except the... You know, right after we came out of the fucking mountain?
From seeing Peggy.
Yeah, from seeing Peggy. And then that part probably hit her the most because she finally found her first actual lead to Tugin, but immediately it was revealed that, oh, your princess is not in this castle. I was like, ah! It kind of took away for her. I feel like it took away for her the entire mystery, because suddenly for her, she's suddenly no longer interested in whatever happened to Lord Bing. Like, fuck him, I don't care. I wanna get my hands on Coogan guy.
So it turned from a mystery to a hunt.
Yeah, it switched up more from like I don't how do I say? She went from detective mode to like, I want to kill someone right now.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we hear you. I kind of really, personally speaking, I really wanted to explore the like mystery hunt part more. Like, looking back, I really wanted to explore that mystery of who killed it, who killed Roger Rabbit, kind of thing.
Okay. All right, Amberle.
So, my character wasn't bothered by much. Head empty, only chaos. But also, like, because I have no recollection of anything, my only experience had been, like, watching people. So, Ivania was kind of like my character's only and first friend, right? So, for me, the biggest one was that, like, mushroom thing. Like, I almost lost the only person I've ever been bonded to in, like, any type of way, because I've never had the chance to really interact with people or have relationships and that kind of thing. And here, like, Ivania went and, like, did something, like, not with the purpose of hurting me, obviously, but, like, went and did something without me and, like, got themselves into trouble and, like, risked, like, who they were as a being. Right? So, like, a lot of this stuff that, like, the Dusty Town and the refugees and, like, this other stuff, like, I don't, like, my character didn't have context that probably wasn't super duper normal, besides, like, other people's reactions, and because I don't have the experience with people, like, my character wasn't identifying, like, the levels of, like, discomfort and, like, horror at some of these things. So.
That makes sense.
Sorry, guys, I dropped out. My internet
It's
just
okay.
went underneath. Yeah.
It just farted.
Yeah, that.
It went
Hit the
underneath.
bum.
What's under the down under? Sorry.
I don't think it's
Doesn't make
actually.
so bad.
Well, yeah, it is our internet. I'm not going to kid myself, but like, lately, my boxes been resetting a lot. Like it reset it like 4 times the other night when I was just sitting there trying to watch YouTube. I'm like, come on, me, what's going on? But yeah, it
Alright. Oh, I was gonna say, well, it came up back in time because it's your turn.
oh, what for? What
Least
are we on the same
favorite-
thing still?
Yeah. Least favorite
Oh,
parts as
okay,
a
cool.
character and or as a player.
Oh man, what I hated as a player, I hated that Zenori kept falling flat on his face when he just needed to have that cool moment. And he got cool moments, I'm not
I
gonna
felt
deny
so bad for Sidori, especially every time you were like rolling a history and it was like 2, and I was like, God.
Yeah. That is, I have like, I'm not like the guy who gets
Bad
natural
roll.
ones all the time. Mine are just abhorrently average. That's what my roll curse is. They're just so average. It doesn't do anything good for you, nor does it do anything bad for you. It's just so right down the middle. But yeah, that's me as a player. But Zunori, he can take a lot himself. But when his friends and family are being dragged, that's when bad Zunori comes out.
Like Jekyll and Hyde here.
Yeah, basically, it's not too far from the truth, and like yeah, I basically said it. He can go through a lot himself because he's been through a lot, and he's somewhat learnt that there is light at the end of the tunnel, i.e., having a family, having his wife, being under the watchful eye of Nerzul. But when it came down to like his family being driven out of their home, but subsequently his wife finding her purpose, but also his eldest being kidnapped, and like he's basically going, for lack of a better term, he can't help but wonder if this is his fault. Because, yeah, all the things that have happened before he met up with you guys. And he's just like, fuck.
And now you're like
Yeah.
in charge of the group, and you're like, this is gonna happen again.
Yeah.
Not again.
And it happened a lot because with the group, because they were his new attached family, and he started to love them to a point that he was like, okay, if these guys get hurt too, I'm gonna have to break legs now. Like,
Even Moshi, I feel like Moshi and Zenori didn't really
oh yeah, no,
get along.
he would have in a heartbeat. Like,
Yeah.
he just thought that like from Zenori's perspective, that was our dynamic. Like, he didn't think there was anything bad in it. He just thought that that's the way we coped with each other because we were so opposite ends of each other.
Yeah.
I mean, see, I agree with that statement, especially after, like, y'all were all knocked out in the woods and stuff. Because, like, this whole campaign was, like, us being there for each other, right? And so, like, I just explained, like, my character had never had that. But not only that, like, I purposely kind of sort of did not have a backstory. And then Richelle was like, oh, it's good to see you again, little one. It was like, so I don't know anything about myself. I did have a backstory, and nobody cared enough to come and try and find me. And then, like, here's, like, this group of people who didn't know me, and I ate their fucking food, and they're like, murder for her? Absolutely. You know
Definitely.
what I mean? So, like, that was kind of, like, the best thing, though.
Yeah, Mochi was alone for a long time before the campaign. So he eventually was like not into it because he hadn't been around like people who actually cared for a long time. And then he was like, wait, they legitimately care. And then he started to like
Those
feel
people
little bit
give a
better
fuck?
about it. Yeah, I know. That's kind of like where he was. He's like, nah, they'll just leave because that's what everyone does. and like so bitter about it. And then he was like, "They're not leaving yet, and I'm not leaving yet." So like, maybe
What's
there's something
happening?
here. Full bonding with Sorn. Like, Moshi was like, "All right, let's just do it." It's funny.
Chris?
Yeah, Chris, are you there?
Are you okay?
Oh
Chris
no, my
froze.
boy!
He looks frozen.
Uh-oh. I don't like this.
So it's not just a Zoom thing.
No.
Ah.
All right. I have more questions. I don't know if I'm quite ready to ask them yet. Do you guys have questions for each other while I ponder? Oh, on that, real quick, I do want to say, with Millions Journal, like, actually reading it in the campaign, that was a total experiment. Like, I wanted, and what I wanted kind of happened, where you guys just kind of blew off this journal as nothing, but I'm like really providing you with all of the information that you guys needed for the other, like, not around the world builders, but like everything that led up, like that was your journey aside from the world builder itself. And I was like, but I actually just gave, like, spoon fed them and they didn't realize it, and it's amazing.
Yet you still wouldn't let me blood bond with the Phenom.
Yep, but then, but, like, the reading of it ended up taking way longer, because, like, in my head, my brain didn't comprehend it right, to where I thought it was, like, a fraction of the size that it actually was. And I am reminded of this as I continue to edit it, and I'm like, wow, this came out a lot bigger than what I thought it did. I'm like, oh yeah, it's just a little short story. No,
Oh wait.
I think your definition of short story and mine differ greatly.
Yes. Yeah, it definitely was not ended up being a short story
Just a
at
little.
all. So I was like,
Just
you know
a
what, that's
little.
just gonna be its own little thing, and that's where, like, I'm editing it and publishing it, because it's just its own little thing. But writing the in-game lore for you guys was just an absolute treat. Like, it's further explanation, or it's further exploration of, like, this time period, and, the history of this time period, and the whole 9 yards, like, whatever. That's cool, that's fine, that's dandy. But you guys found an in-game journal, and we're actually able to read it. Okay, this makes me laugh. My purpose is fulfilled, okay?
I felt the world was really like fleshed out and like real. Like that was something that I like never doubted for a second. Like all the characters seemed to like have backstories, and like all the stuff was like legit, and you never like hesitated for a moment with like any description of something. So like everything just seemed like, oh yeah, that's been here forever. Okay, like
that was my intention
Yeah.
the whole time. Yeah.
yeah. So when you're like, yeah, I was kind of making some stuff up, I'm like, really? It's like,
Yeah, a lot of it was like, I built a lot of the beginning setting just being new to campaign writing and stuff like that, but after working with you guys and and getting some experience for it, I stopped pre-writing as much. Like, not necessarily, like, there were times where I just didn't have any time to prepare for the campaign, and that entire session was just off of the seat of my pants.
oh, I never could tell. I never knew.
There was a couple of times, like, there was one very recently, like, within, like, the last 5 or 6 episodes.
Oh,
And
no.
I was like, and Liam's like, are you ready? And I was like, no, but we're doing it anyway.
But I'm gonna pretend I'm ready.
Right. The suspension of disbelief is paramount, okay? But a lot of that too was just once again not wanting to railroad you guys. And like to me it was like creative gymnastics where it's like, oh, I have, like 4 or 5 NPCs in this town that you guys are going to. I kind of, I have a rough idea of what they're doing or whatever, but, then, oh, you guys go to the tavern first. Well, maybe this NPC is just in there for a drink then. Or you guys go to the store. Maybe this NPC is buying something. And, so it was it ended up being like a lot of mental gymnastics, but it was a blast. It was a blast to, creative gymnastics is the best way I can describe it. And like there's definitely been a couple of times where like post game I'm like, oh, I should have done that, but at the same time, I guess because we were able to get it to run as smoothly as it did end up being, it's like, yeah, it was like that the whole time. I didn't know it yet. I had to figure it out too, just like you guys.
That's so funny. I never knew.
See, I never had it. Like, I've been interested in D&D, and I was like, not really interested in playing. And I was like, but if Richelle's running it, that's gonna be like, I've been like, we've been friends for like 6 years, like 2 years, and I was like, if Richelle ever runs, she'd be the only person I'd probably ever play D&D for.
And then look what happens.
Where we are now.
Right. Welcome back, Chris.
Oh man.
He lives.
I discovered my problem.
Oh. Cat?
Yes.
Oh my god!
Oh no!
So I've got my modem plugged into an extension cord, and the extension cord is what works, but it's kind of a bit loose in the prongs. So the power pack can fall out pretty easily if you and I usually have a bit of tape going around it, but I changed some stuff around and I had to unplug it, and so I forgot to put the tape back on. He must have been doing this the other night stealthily. It's the only thing I can put it down to, because I just walked out there then, and he was like caught like a deer in the headlights. He's like, oh, I'm not doing nothing, and kind of like toddles off, and I'm like, right. So I just quickly taped it back up. Oh man.
Just like looks you right in the eye. Oh my goodness.
I think he's been a bit out of sorts having a dog around too. They get along fine, but he's just like, where's my attention all the time? Attention. But yeah. I don't know if you guys actually said something to me that I probably should have answered, but yeah,
We're just like,
I dropped
Chris,
out.
you there?
Oh no.
No, I was telling Richelle that like I never once like doubted the believability of her world. Like all the characters seemed really real, and they all had like backstories and all the objects and all the descriptions for things that like I didn't know what they were. And then Rochelle's like, yeah, I kind of made a lot of that up on the fly. I'm like, I never knew. It was all so confident.
Isn't that like a DM thing, like flying by the seat of your pants 90% of the time?
Yeah.
The other 10% is the story that we destroy.
Go.
But yeah.
Yep. And yeah, like I said, part of that was, actually getting that confidence about running the games, but, not wanting to overwrite and force you guys to go a specific direction or talk to specific people. It's like, you know what, I have, this character bank. You guys go into the tavern. There's one of the NPCs there. And I did kind of plan on you guys derailing a lot of plans too. So I was like,
Wait,
the
how often did we derail?
I mean, once again, I didn't really. I gave you guys so many options, and numerous times too. Like in terms of providing information for you guys to make a decision on. I had no idea what direction you guys were gonna go until you started walking down that way, just as the DM. So I mean, there were like a couple of smaller times, like in episodes, like in specific episodes, smaller incidents where it's like, oh, we're in you guys are in this library and you're finding out information. And Zunori rolls fucking shite. So nobody knows anything now.
It happens.
Oh, but honestly, my perspective in terms of like derailing or stuff going all according to plan, was, and actually my whole perspective of like the whole game, like how I approached it, is I was playing this game and I was meeting these NPCs and going through these events with you. I was learning everything with you guys. Like in my head, I was just another player in the party. I wasn't necessarily this overlord. And so a lot of, like the by the seat of the pants and stuff like that was me learning with you guys. And like, oh, well, this tavern owner is very busty and has this hot daughter and she makes the best buns in town.
No. Oh, no. I just remembered that, Sicho, yeah.
Quality.
That was quality. Zenori's a faithful man.
You got tempted like what, twice? One of them by twins?
Yeah. Wow.
Even Scorn got a potential partner going.
Yeah.
The water lady.
And he accidentally rizzed with his voice that one time.
That's funny.
Too rocky for you, sweetheart.
I mean, a lot of women do like it hard. I'm just saying.
Will.
All right, so let's start playing What If. Or, well, maybe not necessarily What If with past events, but What If with future events. Just essentially brainstorming what your characters would do next. Like, what
Personal vendetta.
Like,
Kill,
what would
murder,
be
destroy.
your next goals?
Kill, murder, destroy.
Find Bert.
Find Bert.
Save Bert.
Actually, it's a combination of things that kind of happened in the background and in game that mine and Avengers stories kind of converge, and that like the person who kidnapped her as a child possibly has my child, and it's like
We must kill, murder, destroy.
rip
No,
faces off.
actually no. More interrogate. That's the right torture. Yes.
Yeah. Interrogate. What's that word that they use? Advanced. Yeah, advanced interrogation techniques.
If you bring Moshi can just cauterize the wounds if you like pull off a couple limbs.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Vanya
They
can
got
also like
fire.
brew up. We could brew up some like Veritas serum.
Oh, true.
That'd be cool,
True.
actually.
But yeah, I think that like as an epilogue to Zenori's and possibly Vanya's story is that we're on a warpath, basically, going towards the people who took our lives away from us. And Zenori's kind of in a bad spot, like I've already explained here. Like, he's... That whole Jedi analogy that you were using, Jedi and Sith analogy, he's riding grey right now, which is awesome. Go the Grey Knights. But, like... he's on a fulcrum. He's teetering all the time at the moment. That's basically the way it goes. So, yeah.
Yet I wasn't allowed to bury people alive. Seems pretty moral for somebody that's supposedly not super moral.
Hey, how do you know you didn't influence that bad? You could have been a bad influence on me, man.
Good. You needed it.
But yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much where Zenori's at.
And Vanya, where are you at? Are you right alongside?
Ivania for sure wants to go for Tugan. But at the same time, Bert. She's kind of split between these two choices at the moment, and I think she would definitely want to go after Tugan more.
I feel like if you didn't, that wouldn't make sense to your character, because your character was like so... I don't want to say like obsessed with that, but like it's like a part of your identity, you know? Like...
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Pardon me.
So immediate, or well, Aya, what are yours?
I went to the Sentinel.
Okay.
So I went back through the portal with them. Yeah, so did Moshi. We're gonna go do some training, but also that guy that opened the portal, he might be able to unlock my memories. But also that gives me access to portals so that I can go visit the Prime Minister. Because my plan is 1, rescue Bert, and then 2, become like a vigilante assassin that murders like bad people and kills the king.
Damn.
So a really tiny Batman Robin Hood.
Yeah, exactly.
Where is Bert?
Little sparkly... I'm Batman!
And if there, I don't know if there was any confusion, but Sorn doesn't get much of an after story, as his soul
Not
is
yet.
permanently.
I got promised that they were going to teach me to talk to Sorn mind-wise.
Oh yeah. So
And then he'd be back.
essentially, what happened was he is eternally bound to the World Builder.
So
All I'm hearing is
I
if I
feel
move
like
the
with
World
that-
Builder...
Sorn would kind of become like groundskeeper, like protector of the island kind of thing, like you know, you hear like legends of like, oh, the headless horseman roams around this road at night. You know, he'd be kind of like that, but for the island, he'd be the myth people talk about, exactly, like the island guardian. Kind of like keeping the balance and exploring because he's super curious, but I guess he can't really leave, so he'd
And
focus
you'll have
on
a friend popping out of a tree at random to yell at you.
he'd be kind of guardian / like rehabilitator. Send messages and stuff to people when he can, like to his friends and to Onale, and kind of enjoy what he's got and protect where he is now.
His
shades can still leave though, so he's sending them after you guys.
I just had like a flash in my head of that guy from Stranger Things, and like instead of that guy, it's Zunori, and he's like thousands of years in the future, and somebody's like, yeah, there's this myth about this rock dude who became an angel and like is like the lens of the gods, and Zunori's sitting in the corner and he's like, I was there, man.
I was there when he was made.
But yeah,
Yep.
that's heaps cool.
And that does bring up another point I want to hit home with for you guys. Yeah, like everything you guys were doing is canon. No one's gonna forget. Okay. All of this whole campaign, I essentially trusted you guys with these events, and the odds of it coming up in one of the actual published books are very high. Where there will be that just like offhanded mention. Oh yeah, I remember hearing something about that just after the Civil War. One of the world builders got sick, and then. But then depending on how long lived your characters are, you guys may have very large legacies to leave behind, or also just personally be there as old crotchety men and sitting in the back of taverns drinking their afterlife away.
I was there, man.
I was there.
So after all the loose ends are tied up, this is gonna be the hard question. After all the loose ends are tied up, then what? Like, what would make your character content? What would make your character content?
Another adventure.
Obviously,
an acceptable
yeah.
answer.
I actually think that Moshi's pursuit of Bert is helping him heal, because he after his brother's death, he was very broken and felt like there was nothing left worth living for. And now that he has gone on this adventure, he opened himself up to friendship again, and it paid off, and he really made some good friends and is starting to believe in people again and believe in himself again. So I think by him going to rescue Bert is for once he's actually making an active decision to do something, because he was kind of just wandering around doing kind of everything and nothing. He did not have a goal or an aim, or he was just very lost. And now he has something worth striving for, and he feels very passionate about it. So I think it's exciting to see Moshi start to have that spark back again, and to be excited about pursuing a goal.
Yeah. Anybody else want to go? Because I could go, but
Go.
all right.
Go, Chris, go.
I think it's kind of along the same vein as you, Tish, that after everything is being tied, all the threads are being tied, Zunori's going to be doing some healing. He'll need to raise his kids, but that won't be for too long. And I imagine after that, even, he would basically become a hermit. Go live in a mountain underneath a waterfall and just meditate for years at a time until it's all been not suppressed. That's basically what he's doing right now, because he's just suppressing his feelings. He basically just wants to heal from it, go through the motions, and realize that everything is an ebb and flow. It's not good versus evil. It's sunlight and moonlight,
Except
It
what
kind of-
happened.
Sorry.
you want to accept what happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe like reduce the triggers.
Yeah. Like it's okay to have a pulse, because if you don't have a pulse of up and downs, you're dead. But you don't want those pulses to be so erratic that you're basically having heart attacks. You know, like it's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. That's basically what I think. What Zenori, will basically do is become a hermit when his kids are raised.
You said he'll be doing some healing. I was like, he's a cleric. Of course he's going to be doing some healing.
I cast cure wounds on my mind.
Does that heal psychological damage?
One would hope, but I don't think so. What about you, Ivania? Where do you see yourself after we rip heads off?
To be honest, I think Ivania would be very happy to explore her bardic side.
Musician!
Yes. Maybe Ivania is gonna come back and say, you know what? Enough of this like solo and hermit bullshit in the forest. We're gonna express ourselves through music.
No music.
That's too funny.
No, the issue here is that some ears may bleed. That's part of the process, you know. You gotta trust the process.
Yeah. The idea is to make your fingers bleed, not the other people's ears bleed.
When I started playing violin, though, I think a lot of ears bled.
Shit, how long did you play for? Did you keep up with it?
Yeah, I still play every once in a while. I started when I was in 4th grade, so I was like 10.
Wow. That's super cool.
And I played the cello in there too, just for fun. And then,
Oh man, I love cello.
I loved it.
Mm.
And but yeah, every once in a while I take it back out when I can.
She took it out to teach me.
I taught Richelle. Like I taught Richelle how the basics. It's very. I mean, violin's very hard.
You at least got me to the point where I can practice effectively on my own. I need to rebuild everything, but yeah.
Oh, it's okay. I get it. Even sometimes.
I actually have a violin.
Now. Really?
Yeah, I've always wanted to learn it, but.
Well, let me know.
Wow.
Yeah,
I give lessons.
Jenny, you'll know piano? I know that's a little...
I know. I started with piano, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so turns out the house is coming with a free piano because they don't want to move it, and Josh wants to learn, so...
Oh, the piano's great. Piano's awesome.
I used to be able to play it as, like, a young kid because I played it all the time. My grandmother played piano for church, and she just played, every morning. That was when we stayed out at the farm, and I learned how to play by ear. I still like could not sight read, don't even know what the notes were. Tish taught me what the notes were now in my adulthood. Okay, it's like, oh, that's what that's supposed to mean. But I could mimic. I could play by ear, and it was one of those weird things, which come to find out, I guess I have perfect pitch, and I think that's where Tish helped me with practicing to get over that hump of this note isn't playing right. Oh, it's because of how I'm holding my bow. It's like it doesn't sound right. And it's like, oh, okay, now it sounds right. But Chris, if you want lessons, I will totally sponsor lessons and sit in with you guys.
Yeah, I'll have to find it and make sure it's in tune. I can tune it fine. I've got How do you call it? It's not perfect pitch. Relative pitch. I have relative pitch from playing guitar all my life. So like, I learned to play by ear and things like that. I never really learned how to read music. Excuse me, but yeah,
Yeah, let me know
my
when you
music
wanna...
teacher used to. Hey.
Yeah, let me know when you want to start doing that, and we'll get Tish on the books.
Yeah, for sure.
More violin lessons.
Anyway, this
Sidetrack.
tangent brought to you by music.
Speaking of bardic inspiration. Yeah. So. Oh, go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
No, I was gonna do exactly what you're doing right now.
Well, then you go.
I was just gonna ask Aya, like, where does she see herself after getting Bert back, and I guess you're looking for
By
Bert
becoming
as
Fairy
well too,
Batman?
Moshi.
I think.
Yeah.
I think the question was like, what will make you feel complete? Your character.
Yeah. What's
Like
the
once
epilogue
all
of the
the
epilogue?
loose ends are done.
Mm.
Right? So, like, mind you, I'm like unlocking my history. So I have to decide if I want like vengeance for being abandoned by I don't know how many people. And probably should deal with like that. Getting Bert back, killing the king, because like, you know.
Oh, the Mad King. That's right. Wow.
Yeah, I guess like once all of that is handled, I would end up making like this orphanage / school / like spy network organization thing. Right?
And I shall call
Wait
it
a second. Are you
Hogwarts.
just gonna have a bunch of kids do spy shit? Do shady shit?
Okay. No, not the kids. Okay, but like.
Okay, there
I'm
was a comma
assuming
in there,
towards-
right?
Yeah, no. Like, I'm assuming while I'm doing all of my, like, fairy Batman-ness, right, I end up developing connections who may be like, oh, hey, like, this person has no one, this person has no memory, like, here's some abandoned kids, or, like, kidnapped kids, or whatever, right? And so, like, during my vigilante justice, right, I'd collect, like, these misfits, people that have, like, shit to work through, right? And, like, take care of them, and then they can like choose to do other things or become part of like the organization, this spy network or whatever, right? And so like they would get free school and free housing and all of this, right? And then they can choose to help like enact vigilante justice and maintain the balance of the world or whatever, or go get a more formalized education or something, right? That's not the right mouse. Sorry, a notable came in. I'm doing both things at once.
Yeah.
It does
So-
feel like you eventually would align yourself against Zonori, because Zonori is a like guard, right?
Was.
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 Yeah.
But not only
Yeah.
that, like, all I can think more is like, because everything is like attached to like the formalized schools or the government or whatever, kind of like the same premise behind Kingsman, I think that's the name of the movie, where they're like independent and they like grew their wealth enough that they like took people in and trained them to like help maintain the balance of the world, independent of like the politicalness of it all, right?
I see what you were saying too, Joseph. I'd be more like in that case, I would be Zenori would be a like a
More
philosophical
righteous,
advisor. Like if I ever came to Zenori and be like, balance, man, he'd be like, the balance is fine. You don't need to interject, you know, like basically he'd just still being dad. He can't help it.
My cat's here, guys.
Wow.
Oh,
Look at the baby.
Okay.
Bro, you got a good face. Holy.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's a pretty cat.
Mm-hmm.
He's like looking for how to get out.
Man, I don't want to be here, bro.
How can I jump out of this
Mother.
situation?
Yeah, she's not very nice. Sorry. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah. What about you, Thorn? Did you go?
No, I haven't. Sword
Yeah,
can't really
you-
like.
Yeah, I don't feel like
It's a
there is.
little limited.
Well, I feel like the end game for Sorn is extending his reach without having to leave, like growing in strength and being able to do more with his summons, like his because I mentioned I had that one spell on the back burner in case there was a combat at the end. With his hellhounds, so I would want to call them, like that kind of thing where he can influence stuff outside of the island, like with his shades, and then the 8 blink dogs I was gonna make, which only goes like the number increases by 2 with every spell slot, or like 4 with every spell slot I have. So by the time if we're thinking like mechanically a level 20 character, my man is throwing summons wherever he wants, He had his tentacles.
Or proxies.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. I think stuff he could see through, so he could eventually extend his reach a little bit and kind of have some influence outside if he needed to, like if the world builder needed something, or if you guys needed something, he could send you a companion, kind of like like a Vanya's companion, like he could send like a shadow dog or something like that, I think that would be where he ends up while he's being kind of the guardian of the island and doing all that.
He's had like a vision of Zenori being a hermit underneath a waterfall, and he's got like a little rock person made out of little rocks, like a little figurine, and it's got like 2 feathers sticking out of the back of its like back. And he's like, every now and again he'll be like perplexed by a question. He'll look over at the pile of rocks and be like, "Yeah."
No, you've got like a pile of rocks for each of us. Like...
He'd probably have wood carvings of you guys, but he'd have like a standing pile of
Thorns
rocks.
just happens to move.
Yeah. What about you, Moshi? You got the... You've already went, didn't you?
Oh, I already talked about it.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we all went? Mm-hmm. Richelle, where do you see all the loose ends being tied up?
Spoilers.
Yeah, I figured so.
It was worth a try.
Oh,
We'll just slip it in now. What was the D100 roll about? What was the D100 roll?
Yeah!
What was it? What was
What was the stream? Tell us.
Please tell us.
So, especially because I know, I have some DMs in the... Oh my god. I kind of don't want to, just because it's so mystical now. I'm like, ugh. So, the D100 roll, you don't know. You're not supposed to know what it's for at the start and beginning of every game.
Mm-hmm.
It could be for who you want to pick on in a conversation. It could be for if you pull out, like you have a random encounter or whatever the case is. Yeah, like each session, it's been different. The part that I love the most about it is that you guys don't know what it's for. And I love it. But
Can you give us like super vague example?
What do the numbers mean?
Well, I
Was there
don't
something
understand.
that you can remember that it influenced?
Yeah, like I don't understand how like a roll can affect like an encounter. Like what does that mean? Like
So
Kind of think of it. Oh yeah, you get. Sorry, Richelle. Yeah.
No, you go ahead. You
Oh.
come to think of
in my experience, the way that it works is it's more like a chance of encounter. So 100%, you know what I mean? You got your 100%, but there might be like a 15% chance that we have an encounter, and a 15% chance of that 15% chance that it's a hostile encounter. So you got to roll a D100, get underneath 15% for that encounter to even like occur in the first place. Yeah.
So a very run-of-the-mill, or a very, I'm not going to say run-of-the-mill, a very cliche, what do you have here? What is that? Really?
Bond.
Really? Hold on, let me see if I can adjust the camera. Smell, there we go. Hit.
I'll go. Oh,
Go.
ears.
Oh.
So our ears. Oh no.
I love how she, like, her whole head is, like, 40% ear, like, just her head. The rest is all ears. Like, it's mostly ears. Yeah, you're mostly head empty, only ears. So I guess a very cliche example, like the easiest way to explain it is if a pack of wolves jumps out of the forest and tries to attack you guys, who do they go for first? You know, like if you don't necessarily, if there's not any one person who's obvious, or like if a group of bandits pops out, you know, if there's not any one person who is obviously like blinged out, those are the people that's the person they want to rob the most. You have that to kind of lean on. Or in conversations, you can make conversations more or less difficult. Like Zenori's having a really off day, so his DCs are going to be higher. That's something that I've had to do a couple of times where it's like, oh, they actually rolled really well, or you know. So, but sometimes the lower rolls were better in some situations. Sometimes the higher rolls were better. So yeah, each and every time it changed. Like it's there almost like it's a resource that you know you're not necessarily picking at random at all ever. The dice are always deciding.
Yes. Yes.
Baby, I do love you. I do. You
can't
get
even
enough
see her.
attention during the day.
It's dark.
You just see the ears pop up.
Yeah, I just see this like kind of motion.
Go on, baby. No? Or go lay down or something with your ball. Go. Shoot. Love you. Just turns back. Makes you feel guilty. But then, and then, you know, it changed every time, but it was a resource for me. And yeah, so for all
So
the
you
DMs
were
out there.
fucking with us.
The whole time.
And some days it was just to make us feel anxious. It was for nothing.
That definitely became my favorite part very quickly.
Some days I would just roll it. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then some days I'd be like, does this matter? This looks like a bad roll.
Anything below 20 was like, okay, this is the day that I die. This means Richelle's gonna murder me.
It's like when I
Richelle
rolled
does,
like.
that's okay.
It's like when I rolled, was it a 90 or something? I was like, ooh, do I get a prize today?
I was waiting for like the natural 0 or the natural 100.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Or
Natural
man.
1.
I stopped rolling so many like nats on stuff after I rolled those 2 nat 100s in a row in that other campaign. Now the dice are like,
Used
nah,
up all the luck.
we gave you all of the luck. It needs to like recharge, but I get to turn into a dragon, so no days for this.
Do it.
Oh
Nice.
yeah. None of
Does
the other
that
players has, like-
answer satisfy your pent-up curiosity?
Oh yeah, that helps
Just
me like
barely.
understand it a lot more.
It's scratchy.
Yeah, I won't give you a specific in-game instance because one,
No, I figured you
Braining,
wouldn't.
but also spoilers.
No, but that helps me like put it into perspective of like your mindset behind it. Like it's not just arbitrary. It like does help you like kind of plan like stuff
Yeah,
that happens
it-
like in the session.
Yep, it was always there if I needed it. And yeah, and it changed every session. It wasn't based off of any of your guys' stats, so it was very unbiased. It was great.
Listen, there was sessions where I caused enough chaos. You didn't need it. Let's be honest.
All right. So world-wise, set aside. Characters, specifics, set aside. What did you guys think about the actual story itself? Or like, the smaller stories, or like, did you have favorite characters, or what? Like, yeah, just story elements in itself, or the story itself. What did you guys think?
I liked that there was a lot going on. And I liked the crafters. They had like cool powers, and it was a cool way of instead of, oh, here's the magic store guy in the city. There was the crafter in the big cities, So that was pretty cool.
I love the like talking along those lines was that they were constructs. The ones that were the flighting, they were like flying around, and you flew with them, like Tish with motion. You were flying with them.
Oh,
sorry.
What?
The purifiers.
Yeah.
I love that. That's one of my favorite moments.
That was one of the bigger visuals in my head. Like, you know when you see a big fantasy setting. That too. That's the funny part about it. But it was more so like it had scope. Like for lack of a better term, I had a big old picture in my mind, and there's just like this huge crack in the ground, and then there's all these wispy little ghost / spirit things, and like they're like what are those little guys called? Little Slater bugs, the roly polies. They're basically just purifying the earth. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. It's just it was a visual that I had. That and what was the other big visual that I had? The forest. Yeah, the forest was a big one, especially when we walked into the clearing and there was that thing that screamed us to sleep. Yeah. I could just imagine walking out into a field and there's this giant black four-legged animal that's like just imposing a presence, and you're like, oh no, I'm going to get
I don't
charged.
want to deal with you.
Yeah. And then it just like, at horror movie style, opens its mouth and you go, and keel over. Yeah.
I loved that part, and then like a couple of days later, there's this TikTok that came up in my feed, and it was Beardo, who's always like I'm never gonna be a skinny man, and it's like I feel that. But it was someone took a picture of or took a video of a goat, and the goat just like stares, screams, and he just screamed too. And like I think I posted that for you guys, and I was just like, oh my god, look what it is.
Wild. I don't know. Story-wise, I had to say the whole thing. Like the story that we were creating together, like all of our backstories and present stories were melding into this, like, what do you call it? Tapestry, that's the word I'm looking for. And then you had the overarching world building that was happening in the background too. And like, don't get me wrong, I would have loved to extended it out like another 50 or 100 episodes just so we could like tie our backstories up and deal with this and deal with that, and oh, we can deal with this problem too. But the overarching problem was we had time constraint, like. But that's okay. It made for a like Tish said, it's good that it kind of didn't wrap our stories up because that's what happens in life. Yeah.
I really like the races too. They're pretty cool.
Mm.
Do you have a
It was
favorite?
cool to be able to.
Cat,
I'm
obviously.
biased. I'm biased.
I feel we're all biased at this point.
It was cool being an elemental. I enjoyed being able to like theme all of my spells and stuff around it.
Yeah, it was cool that I got magic, even though it wasn't playing like a magic user class.
I loved the like. First of all, if it's an animal, I'll always pick it. That's why I was like, it's a cat. Like, let's do it.
I know too.
But like, I like how with the rogue kind of element with the like, it just kind of like worked with the stealthy and the like unpredictability. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, we could tell.
Randomly finding me on roofs or whatever.
Yeah, I had to teleport so I could chase you.
I know.
Oh.
What about for you, Joseph?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, I think part of the world that I really like was that every town felt alive in its own way. No two towns that we visited was really the same. Like, shoot, I forgot the Orkney. Orkney was like a very humble little lively town, kind of very standard foresty. Then Shinagawa was like a harbor, and it's like it felt larger. Like even through our verbal description, it felt larger. Then we had the mining town. I could not remember that one. The name of that one. Hanolo, yeah. Hanolo was like it felt smaller, but more like I could visualize it as like a small like crevice in the mountain kind of look. And lastly, at the Citadel, like, yeah, it's a citadel, but then it didn't feel like a town. It felt more like a giant academy. So every town was very, very different in like visualization. I love that. Every part was different.
Concept art. Concept art.
Speaking of concept art, those fucking player paintings, Joseph, those cards, oh my god. I still show those off. Like, understand.
They're really cool.
Anytime people ask about the campaign, I'm like, you gotta see the art my player did.
Yeah.
And I'm like whipping them out like rare Pokemon cards, okay?
When are we getting those printed?
See, I wanted to do foil prints of them after I moved.
Nice.
But I have to switch out the printer that I have now because it doesn't work for it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you have to have the inkjet and you have to have a laminator and the foil, right? So I was going to take like black cardstock and then have you like reduce the number of colors because I can't do 8 million colors of foil. And then do it like if something's like naturally multicolored, like you do it page by page because you can put multiple layers of foil on there, right? And so you print it like a page at a time and then you put the foil on it. So like because all the borders are gold, it would be like gold foil borders. And then like mine had like a lot of pink and blue, so it'd be pink and blue, and Vanya's would have green and
That would be interesting, yeah.
If your character was a magic card, what would they be?
I've never
What
played
would-
Magic.
Yeah,
Oh,
I actually don't
no.
know. I
Man.
played Magic once. I don't know what you would be talking about.
Oh, you can kind of think of it like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon cards, kind of. Yeah.
Like what kind of element? Like what do you mean like when you say what kind of card would it be?
I guess it's hard to explain because I guess you guys haven't played Magic. I've only like even me. I have limited experience. I have a deck builder's toolkit that I adamantly use and destroy my friend that buys specific cards to try and kill my deck. But somehow I still manage to beat him. He hates it so much. But yeah, that's kind of like you'll summon like use a planes, which is like you know your summoning bits, and like then you'll throw out a 1/1, which is like 1 power, 1 health, and like it might have like a magical effect or just like a feature to it that like when you place this card out on the board, select target player
if
card
Moshi
to
was
destroy.
a card, he'd be Uno draw 4.
that's beautiful, yeah. Or Uno reverse.
Yeah, that was my first thought, was reverse. But then I was like,
Yeah.
no, he's more than that. He's draw 4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chaos.
not to put it in like elementary terms, but
Oh, you need red? Now it's blue. Take 4 cards too.
it's like,
I feel that's very true for pretty much us as a party.
Yeah.
The party has appeared. Everybody draw 4.
everyone in the town's like, no,
Oh,
not them.
Hmm.
Oh god.
Okay. If it was Magic, I think at least Moshi would be a sorcery card.
Cool. I
Like
don't
a
know what
red
that
card.
means.
Mm,
Oh, then again, because red is basically attack. High risk, high reward. Blue is like sabotage. You like make
Yeah.
yeah, or
I feel
subterfuge.
like Chris should choose all of our cards for us.
yeah,
Oh,
since
oh,
since you're the
maybe.
most
I'd have to go
educated.
through my yeah, I'd probably have to go through my deck builder's toolkit and like find
Sweet.
like specific cards because I actually think that there's like a cat character in one
Yeah.
of those cards. Probably is in the blue deck too. But yeah, then you got white, which is like angels and order, and then black, which is death and chaos, and then
Well, we
Why
found
did,
my
why did I
card
just think
color.
of Aya?
what was the last one? There's red, blue, white,
Green.
black,
Green.
green. Yeah, which is nature. Yeah,
And then you
nature,
got black,
big.
which is swamp.
Nature, yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't
yeah,
there
yeah.
like duo cards too? Where it's like 2 colors?
Yeah, yep,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
so I'd be a black-green card.
Yeah, well, there's the thing. You can have mixtures of decks too. So like you don't specifically have to just go red or blue. You can go blue green, which is like
White and black.
subterfuge plus white and black. Yeah, yeah.
White and
I
black.
would definitely be green and blue.
Green and blue is I love that. So that they actually have names too, and the green and blue is called Simic. I can't remember any of the rest. I just used to use Simic a lot. But,
What
yeah.
are white and black?
Yeah. Look up the names for it. But
that's what I'm
Zunori's like he's definitely white deck,
White,
but
yeah.
like does he have a mixture? I can't say. Maybe white red. Yeah.
Yeah, white and red
Yeah.
feels more like you.
Orzhov. Orzhov. White and
Golgari.
red.
Orzhov, that sounds right. Yeah.
White and red. I'm looking for it. Boros.
Boros.
I'm not
Yeah,
really
black-green
sure
is
on those.
Golgari.
Golgari.
Mhm.
Oh, it's got archetypes too.
there's heaps of levels to Magic. It's wild. It's just as they've actually got they cross over with each other. Dungeons and Dragons and Magic actually cross over with each other. Lots of characters that are in Magic are in Dungeons and Dragons and vice versa, and a lot of the elements and
It
things like
started
that.
with Ravnica, right? I want to say the crossovers officially started.
Oh man, I
do have that source.
I'm trying to think. It either happened just after or just before I got my deck builders toolkit. I can't remember now. That was like in 20.
Yeah, I remember it was recent because they're both
2015?
Wizards of the Coast, but they were separate IPs for a while. Hold on.
Yeah, they were absolutely.
There's so many games, so many cards.
Well, the thing with Magic is you love it or you hate it, and if you love it,
Oh,
man,
here you go.
it's bad. So
Like
bad.
Gwen.
The merge happened in 2021.
Oh,
Yeah, that sounds alright.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm reading the layouts. Number 2 is Lifegate, and it mentions both Strixhaven and Witherbloom.
Yes,
But, all right. To as much as I absolutely love this tangent, because nerds.
Oh yeah, reel it back in. Oh, yeah.
Okay, reel it back in. So I do have pretend I haven't asked these next questions. I just want to make sure that I have official answers, and of course, if your answers change, let me know. How do you feel about your characters getting their own little novellas, their own little spin-off books?
Yeah, if I had four arms, I'd give 4 thumbs up.
All right.
That'd be
I'm
cool.
gonna leave a question in our game chat. So at some point, whisper to me the answer. And essentially, the question is what would this short story or what would the spin-off include about your character? Would it be like a biography? Would it be like a life story? Or would it be covering specific events? What events would those be? Or let me know what specifics about the character you want to make sure, what do you value most? What do you want highlighted? The next question for you guys is there, once again, pretend I haven't asked you before. All right. Is there interest in playing more games in the future for Stars of the Sovereignty?
DLC.
Yes.
DLC.
I would like a bit of a break though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So, Tish,
In
you
the
are
future.
in the future, yes. So right now we have campaign 2, which has already been selected, and that's pretty much already going on its own. That is happening like way late for you, Tish. But campaign 3 will hopefully be more Tish friendly in terms of time, and or doing like short campaigns where let's go hunt for bird, something like that.
Yeah, I think we all agreed last time that we wanted to do like short campaign one-shots for some of the stuff afterwards.
Absolutely.
So bird finding and child trafficking finding and memory unlocking and
Island protection.
island protection, yeah, all of that fun stuff.
It'd
I
be
don't know.
funny to like.
Security detail.
He just
It'd be
sworn
so
to
funny
stand
doing a
there.
one shot. Yeah.
I don't know
The-
if saving Bert could be a one shot though. I
Oh, it
think
totally
No.
could be.
No. Well, you could, but I was thinking more along the lines of like, all of Sawn's shades as a one shot, and they're like trying. Either they're trying to burst out, or it's during our campaign. That's when the one shot happens. They're off doing their own little
They're
shenanigans.
doing spy shit.
Yeah.
Covert ops. I love it.
Yeah.
So, shady one shot.
Love it.
I am all for that. That
You can only
fits.
communicate with hand signs.
Yep. All right. Yeah, like the doing the pet adventures or familiar adventures.
Uh-huh.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, like someone can pitch in with the one shots by sending a summon.
Mhm.
All right, so now the last part that I want to make sure gets covered. I hope you guys wrote notes on stuff you were curious about. You guys already did like ask some questions through the discussion already, which is great. But granted that it doesn't give away spoilers, I will answer completely transparently any questions or ask you if there's questions you guys have on each other's character. Like, yes, open question time.
Let me grab something really quick. I'll be right back.
Oh no, he wrote a book.
His tome of notes.
Yeah.
An actual practical prop that I'd love to see is Moshi's diary, like the note-taking book.
You want
And it
that?
yeah, I would. It's just a nice little supplemental, you know, especially if it was like leather bound and like every couple of pages there was like half a paw print in the corner or some shit like that.
Oh, you should see the commentary. You should see my notes. Oh my god.
That's what I mean.
Moshi's notes.
I will.
Moshi's notes.
It's funny. I actually pulled them up because I was like, will I have to look at these during our talk? But yeah, maybe.
But I love supplementaries to stories. I think they're way better than the story sometimes because I just love world building in general. Yeah.
I have 102 pages.
Wow. That's a novella. Right there.
We'll make that work, Tish. We'll do two. We'll do Moshi's commentary on campaign 1, and then we'll do the Moshi story.
Oh, it'd be kind of like a fun little like side extra thing, just like and Moshi's notes.
Day 1 with the goofballs.
Day 1.
Sidebar. This is exactly what Moshi was thinking at this moment.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could. I wish I had like a really good section I could just read right now. But... Anyway.
Find when Soren incinerated the animal that Ivania was hunting.
Oh yeah, in the beginning. I wonder what I said for that. So long ago. Oh, when was that? Wait, what was that? What was that called? What was the animal called?
Tacto.
Oh. It wasn't a
yeah.
Round, was it?
No, it was a
No,
tacto.
no.
Oh,
Tacto.
sorry.
Yeah, because I didn't have like a.
How do you spell that? Sorry.
TAKDAU.
I
Tacto,
definitely didn't spell
yeah.
it in here.
Goat?
Oh man, I might have said goat or something. Goat.
Because it's a
a
goat.
goat thing.
animal.
I found it. Yes, I called it a goat thing.
Yes.
That's too funny.
So this was in the beginning, before I really hit my stride. So, we exit the town into the forest to the west. Soren leads us to where he found the body Ivania hunts, and Emoshi helps. I don't remember what that's about. Soren half bakes the goat thing, throws the carcass over his shoulder. Moshi jumps off, and Soren takes off. Everyone follows quickly.
Let's go.
Oh, there was a body.
that
He had like
happened.
found a body.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that.
The body of the fisherman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah. So. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
Yes.
That was funny. Goat thing.
Actually, what did Moshi say about the wolf thing? That was
The
really
wolf
old too.
thing?
Yeah, that was like one of the first things. We went to the forest and we're like,
By the
oh,
town.
let's flash bomb me by sticking me on an arrow and shooting me.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
When was that?
That was right after we left town.
Yeah.
Hmm. Maybe I'll just search your name.
Like on our way to Chenogawa.
Yeah, I was shot on Ivanya's arrow.
Yes, that one was. That one was.
And I almost
At the
died.
berry farm.
Like 2 sessions in.
Oh wait. I think I found it. Hold on.
Oh, I actually had some point where I figured out half of what we needed for sweet buns. We had cinnamon sugar, flour, fresh picked fruit, and I never got past that.
Yeah, so for transparency, the sweet buns, also for those who came in later in the campaign, are essentially, these fresh hot buns that get drizzled with like cinnamon sugar. But the buns in themselves are bao buns. Like, they're just bao buns filled with either custard or, like, I think Jondi's I had filled with, like, cinnamon roll filling. Like, cinnamon, sugar, butter, vanilla, maybe some cream cheese. I would say that sounds really good. But just be the filling of the bao bun, and then, sprinkle some cinnamon on top and maybe a little nutmeg and clove for some extra aroma.
Guys, sorry, I'm looking up. I was gonna see who in the party that I mentioned more in my notes.
I know who it is.
Oh
Sorry.
no.
I mentioned Ivania 281 times. I mentioned Aya 304 times.
Oh,
That's
I mentioned
funny.
Zenori 429 times.
No.
I mentioned Sword 586 times.
Oh my god!
That's too
I was
funny.
making moves.
That's too funny.
Wait, the bird. How many times did I mention
Bird.
9
Wow.
birds?
At least 200.
39 times, but honestly,
Oh.
I mean, but
No, no,
for
no,
bird,
no.
like,
Quality times.
that's like 30
Quality
going
time.
on 30 going on 500. Okay.
Oh, man.
Because it wasn't like, oh, Bert picks up a stone. It is Bert fucking beats me at tic-tac-toe.
Yeah, that's glorious.
Oh my
Bert builds a
God.
castle with his friends.
How many
Oh my
times do you
God.
mention yourself?
Oh man. Oh man. Bertrand Mark 1.
Fuck yes.
Yeah.
The Meanwhile, the Bert piloted sword flies through the air.
That's
I'm
too
I'm
good.
sorry. Yeah, we'll make them. We'll type this out. We'll make a Momoshi diary or Sir Bertrand. Oh man.
I feel like he needs a monocle.
Yeah.
Sir Bertrand.
Just Moshi talk or Moshi tells the story of campaign 1. Narrated by Moshi.
The entire of campaign 1 was just Moshi reliving his battle tales as an old cat.
And then have like a future campaign, like a future group without any of us, and
That have heard of all
have
of us.
yeah,
From
yeah,
Moshi.
and absolutely have Moshi's journal being discovered.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, it's the new Millions Journal.
Oh god, that one thing that I complained about earlier.
Yes, that's the
We're the
irony of
million
it.
of the future.
Oh god.
My, how
That's
the
too good.
turntables.
Now the
Turn.
tables have tables.
You best start believing in journals. You're in one.
Guys, stop.
Too good.
Oh no.
Oh man. Oh yeah, the whole like mansion thing with the dude that died and the snooze fest, man. No,
Snooze
that was so boring, man.
Moshi was not feeling it.
Oh, every time that happened, Moshi was like, "I'm gonna go over here."
I don't care about this dead guy.
There was not a lot of Antiris. I think that's part of the reason I liked it so much is because like I actually met another Antiri. Like there was like that, and then there was a group of Antiris in the forest. And past that there was like no Antiris the whole campaign.
Soren met his first fellow no, and immediately turned on the Riz cannons.
Actually, in terms of Hinolo, that is one thing that you guys threw, not necessarily threw me for a loop on, because I was expecting you guys not to stay very long in it, and you're like, oh hey, 8 sessions, and I was like, okay.
It was the same way.
We're exploring this very
this.
Yeah, it's like we're exploring
always
this
tell
very
ya.
small tidbit. Okay.
But see,
Nori
that's the
was
problem.
like, I'm on a mission.
My-
Justice.
My IRL DM used to complain about it all the time. He'd be like, the story's right in front of you, and you're literally following a thread that means nothing. We're like, it means something, you're lying to us, and we know it. We were convinced. Like,
See, you tied it to our backstories a lot. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, oh.
Yeah, like I definitely didn't want to waste your guys' time. And then, like I said, I did have room with the NPCs. I did have that wiggle room to where it's like, well, let me still give you guys something worthwhile out of this. And it's like, oh, I can see where this is tied and this is tied and this is tied. I'll just like shine flashlights at that for you.
yeah. That's funny, though. You could be dangling the carrot in front of us, and we're just like, Firefly.
No, the real story's over here.
Yeah.
Back with Onali's
Absolutely.
ripples.
Oh, that's the best part of the story.
Oh, no.
Wait, what did I write in the journal about that?
Yeah.
Fine, look up the word ripples.
Did ya?
Wait,
Did you?
Wait, maybe it's just. I looked up plural. Hold on, maybe. What? No,
So,
I didn't use
It
it.
was at Chinogawa. Yeah, it was at Chinogawa. You guys were at the library, or going to the library. And Onali.
No, we
was
had just
in
left the
fucking-
library.
Yeah.
I remember this very clearly.
Sorry.
Dot, dot, dot. Dot, dot, dot.
No, I.
I remember Zunori doing something like sticking it into your ribs, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Just all of
This
that.
Elbow to the side, yeah.
Yeah. And you go like rock mode and be like, don't look at me.
Stop.
Also, Soren's just traumatized by hamsters. No, gerbils. Traumatized by gerbils. Yes.
Gerbils.
Here be
You're
Goebbels.
plotting against me, I tell you. That's too funny, though. There was a few moments like that, little off-the-cuff moments. Like when we were actually getting our AFK runs, like when you guys were all picking the type of Eki runs that you had, I was like, Zunori has the dumbest one. He has to have the goofiest, dumbest one. And yeah. It just made perfect sense to me. He's like this clean-cut guy that's like comes from a noble family, and he's like gone to the other side of the world and lived a completely different life. And every time he tries to be cool, it's not cool. So it's just like it's perfect. Yeah.
Did everyone get to name theirs? I don't think I got to name mine.
You named yours like Scorch or
uh,
something like that.
No.
Yeah,
that
we
was
did.
Zunori.
Oh.
Yeah, mine was green. It was Clover.
I thought mine was Scorch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that's right. I remember, yeah, someone had a super simple name.
I can't remember if I named one. I would have.
Well, I
Probably
wrote it
would've.
down.
I'd probably call it Goof or something like that.
Oh, I didn't record your names. Damn it.
I did. Hold on.
Or Kevin. Something ridiculous.
I didn't have an Ekarin, so
True.
it was just me and Petals. We just prance
Your-
around in the
Your name gets Spot. I forgot. Sonori instead picks a goofy Igurin that knocks him over. It's a cream color with yellow and brown spots, like a paint horse. His name is Spot.
So plain.
Thorn looks for the beefiest one. LOL.
Because it needs to be beefy to drag
One
Soren
comes
around.
up. One comes up and it's very curious and bumps his arm. It's red with orange flecks. He calls it Scorch. He's actually getting a cart since he's heavier. Ekurin's part, and Ivania sees a large wolf from childhood. It's her familiar. The wolf's name is Petal. Aya's is green with aqua flecks. It bounces her on its nose. She's calling hers Clover. That's cute.
Oh.
That was part of the text.
That was Moshi's notes. But, oh wait, I already have. When did I meet Scond? Come on. Oh. So we were at the camp, I think, with the Prime Minister and the purifiers and stuff. And Moshi befriended some Ekurins, and specifically a silvery gold marbled one named Scond. Moshi feeds it some jerky and it accepts it. The Prime Minister tells Moshi they really like fruit, so Moshi decides to get some before their journey. Yeah, I think that's when Moshi met Scond. Yeah, and that's who Moshi gets. So Moshi didn't actually name his Ekurin. It was already named. But that's cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
Having the most fancy name.
I guess, I don't know.
School. Some goofy moments in there though. Holy.
Yeah.
I think one of the most memorable goofy moments that only involved my character was when I was running through the forest and I kept tripping on tree roots, and I'm just like, this is absolutely dead set balls. Why is this happening? I'm just trying to run, god damn it. But yeah. Pick up your feet and hurry. God.
I'm sorry, I'm just reading about the time when we're on Pega Barrel.
Yeah.
We go into the dungeon thing or whatever. And then we the Prime Minister tries to open the PM tries to open the door with magic. He tells everyone to step back. The door cracks and shatters open. Wood pieces and dust goes flying. Moshi loves it. Everyone falls.
Destruction.
Everyone falls into line behind the PM, and we move on. The room is full of coffins. Soren goes to investigate. He opens a coffin like a dumbass.
Like a dumbass?
Roll for initiative. Ghost
So
shit
good.
coming at us. If Vanya suggests we stab them. They're ghosts, dumbass!
That's so good.
Sorry.
That's a good point.
No, it's not. That's the point.
Yeah, we're gonna make this Oh,
Man, things like that make me wish I was good at animating and just being able to make them all come into motion. Even if it was just an animatic like storyboarding and kind of like have it in motion. But
I would love to do that if I had time.
I
Honestly, I
animate.
could
hate
totally,
animating.
I could totally see this being like an animated series. Like, I think that would just be like so fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I haven't animated in forever.
I can't animate. I attempted to take the class and I broke the software so bad the teacher didn't know how to fix it. They said I think the only thing I think you might be able to do, and I don't know if it's gonna fix it, is uninstall and reinstall the software. I was given the model.
And the rig.
Yup. Mm-hmm.
And Joseph, you're currently animating, aren't you?
I just finished up actually.
What? You're animating? What are you doing?
Noreen's project.
What? Fun.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee.
And you hate animating. Why are you doing
And I
it?
hate animating. It's so much work.
Yeah, I know.
Well, they
I
really
prefer
did what
rigging.
for you. Social media for Richelle, animating for Joseph. They were really spot on.
How many frames would you normally do? Isn't it like something like 12? Oh, I thought it was 28.
So
We do 24. We do 24.
You're doing 24? You want to kill yourself?
We have a different software now. I've been using a different software, so it's more like Puppet now rather than hand drawn frame by frame.
Oh, are you using After Effects?
No.
What are you using?
Moho. It's like a Puppet animation software, kind of like Spine 2D, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
How do you spell
I
it?
was just about to ask, is that like Spine?
It's Moho, and yeah, Noreen bought a bunch of that software. Actually, yeah.
I did a lot of Puppet stuff in After Effects.
And actually, I can slip this in here. This is not a paid advertisement. If you go to sunoraclegames.com, spelled as is, sunoraclegames.com, you can see the project we're talking about that a handful of us are on, as well as sign up for playtesting. If you want to be a playtester for this game, the goal is to have a playable demo by Christmas. And honestly, Joseph and Tish both know some of the sketchy contracts we've had to do. I actually have faith in this one. It's been a while since I've had faith on a startup game project. Okay, let's just put that out there as transparent.
Y'all will get to see the wonky animations I've been doing.
At least it's not a fighting game. Jeez.
But I will
post
more information in the Discord server announcement at some point too, just because so many gamers on our server. Yeah, so that's super fun. We do have an animator in campaign 2. Also.
Ooh.
Yes.
Wow.
He may be persuaded if time allows.
Oh yes, Bolu. Bolu is a great animator.
Well, I mean, I got my bachelor's in animation. I used to do a lot.
Oh, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Man, seeing some of your architect pictures, Tish, holy, that's some good fucking artwork right there, man.
I enjoyed those.
Yeah.
Hey, I get so jealous that y'all can do this. If y'all ever need me to set up a data lake for you with relational databases, I got you. That's about all I can do.
If your computer ever sets itself on fire, just call me.
What if I set it on fire?
That too.
Call the fire department.
Oh no! I have to go visit Joseph for a week.
Oops.
Okay, so I'm going to set my computer on fire in about roughly 2 weeks. So be here, right?
Got it.
Funny.
All right. Well, I think that is. There anything that you guys can think of that you still want to? I mean, like, of course, it's not like we're never going to see each other again or talk to each other again. But is there any topics that you feel like we missed? Anything that you want to discuss more of?
Yes, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Give me your goddamn cipher!
Oh my god, yeah, you have us do the thing.
Yeah.
You have to read the fucking map!
I still can't fucking figure it out.
I could could give my secret away for the cipher itself, but I don't want to, because there will be more in the future. However, let me pull it up, because I do have the original text before it got ciphered.
Give us the translation for the map.
Aha! Give it
Or
here. Give it
Um,
here.
Oh, I gotta dig. It's in
Oh
a
yeah, you
dusty-
asked for like phrases from us for this, right?
Not
I
just
think
the
it's something
phrases,
else.
but also the map.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
for the cards.
And then I also had to do the runes on Sorn's sword, which had a bunch of that was translated. I was like,
Oh yeah, what does my sword say?
Oh yeah.
I know what my sword says.
What does your sword say?
No, I can't remember.
Say? But yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I want to know what it means.
All right, so I think at some point I had to summarize it, like I had to condense it down because I ran out of room. But also there was a bit of translation changes, so some of the words had to get shifted a little bit just to make sure the translation still made sense. If it was in standard letters, you know. Alright, because it did go through a living language before it got ciphered. Super, super fun. Alright. So the map border translates to: it has been a few hundred cycles since the Civil War tore the realm in two. The High King barely recovered his power through the war. Now as the Dark Realm thrives, the Prime Minister walks through his land with a heavy and still broken heart. Many see this war as trauma, but to us who have been since before, he is seeing something laying underneath that others cannot see. Like a small thread that unravels a larger tapestry, something, however subtle, is terribly wrong. So he has chosen to hand off his position of power to his mentor, Saris, whom he trusts while he investigates what could be leeching life from his land and his people. All of our highest wishes go with him. May the Force live long and prosper.
Yes.
Which, that one I had to change to may the power live long and flourish because it didn't translate right. But so you guys actually followed. So essentially, what I was thinking about, was that you guys would go off and do one of the cool and shiny main quests, but the map maker. You guys went for this quest line that the map maker was worried about. That I saw, in my head, I pictured the map maker, knowing the Prime Minister for a while and writing up this map and just being like, and putting, just little cartographer notes like, oh, hey, these people are trying to invade us or whatever, just little cartographer notes on the side. But, saying, just seeing the beginnings of what you guys ended up following.
It's like a little blessing.
Yeah, well, not necessarily a little blessing, but, like, if the map drastically changes or civilization drastically changes, here's what I noticed.
Oh, man. So that's what it means. How do we the code? No, I have to like. I get it typed in.
Can you typed form? Hold on.
I actually, I did the same for Warframe because they got like their own linguistics in it.
Yeah,
and
they have a whole bunch.
Yeah, they have a whole bunch, and I was deciphering the Orokan language, and I was like scouring the entire game for the Orokan language and trying to figure out what each word had because I had a basic cipher, and I was like, okay, this is this and this is that, and so that's basically at the point that we are with the map words. Okay, so this is saying this. So what does this over here say? Actually, you're making like a graphic novelization of this too, aren't you, Rochelle?
Say what?
You're making a graphic novelization of this?
So that was
Not our
honestly...
story.
Wait, say that. Ask the question again.
Your story, it has a graphic novelization. Yeah.
So that was the original plan.
Right.
Like I actually still have some of the original scripts that I was writing for it. But
Right.
it comes down to a matter of time investment.
Uh-huh.
And like I said, I love working with you guys, like, for the campaign and stuff like that. And just the time investment alone, it was like, you know what? Let me write it as a novel first. And then through building community, through running the games, through publishing the books, it eventually being adapted into a graphic novel. And honestly, like, if I had to pick a style that I see it in, I want it to be very, like, whimsical and heavy on the fantasy side. Immediate ones that come to mind would be, like, the Monstrous series mixed with, like, Sandman or, stuff like that. Just a lot more on the artistic side. Versus a lot of the panel to panel, or Saga. Saga's another one where they actually take a step back and just have like a beautiful work of art on a page.
Yeah, I like that. I do like.
So that
I had,
is in it.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, so that still is on the table in my head. It's just a matter of acquiring funding, because it's like, yeah, I could sit there and work on it myself, but also I could just, if with proper funding, I could hire artists for a couple of years to work on it. And I'd kind of rather do that, to be honest. As much as I love making art myself, but also being able to support artists in that way.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I used to own what am I saying? I used to. I still own it. I've got the OG Dinotopia, and it's got that.
Oh, it's funny you should mention that. Is it up there? No, it's not up there.
Okay, but like, I loved that TV show.
Yeah,
Dude, the book is so good.
Oh my god. Well, so I follow and have a career crush on James Gurney, who's the artist and creator of Dinotopia. He's also one of the first illustrators to do the renditions of, like, feathered dinosaurs and stuff like that. And, like, him and Terrell Whitlatch are just, like... but I recently... It's, like, sitting at the other house right now. I ordered in a signed copy of the anniversary edition of Dinotopia that comes with, like, extra... behind-the-scenes pages and stuff like that, and signed by James Gurney. And I'm like, ah!
Like I love that's what I'm talking about when I love world building in things like that. Is like they show you the tablet with the dinosaur alphabet, and then they show you a raptor on a treadmill stamping out with his feet the words of things, and I'm like, this is so cool. And then they show you like the beds of brontosauruses, because they don't like lay on the ground. They have to, like horses, they have to sleep standing up. So they got these like boat things that go underneath of them and hold them up in the air and stuff while they sleep. And I'm like, that makes me giddy, man. Yeah, I love that stuff.
Yeah, that's actually that is one of my inspirations, because I still have the copy of Dinotopia. It's like hardbound with like a green fabric book cover.
That's the one I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had it since I was a kid. There was another one, so that's one of them. And then like the Conan series, Robert E. Howard, Tolkien, of course. You go through the classics. But another one, like in terms of graphic novels and storytelling, that really got me it's a wordless graphic novel series. I can't remember. I want to say it's a Matt something, Matt Martinez. I don't know. It's something weird. Not weird, but my brain thinks it's weird right now. It's called Dinosaur, or like the Age of Dinosaurs, or something like that. But it's totally wordless, and all of you follow like these dinosaurs through the graphic novel.
Excuse me?
Like it's similar to like Primal, except it's like an old school. And with this, my dad would actually read it to me. And every time he read it to me, it was a different rendition. He would go in and like change things, or like I would suggest something like, "Oh no, that dinosaur is like excited," and just being a little girl like this, right?
That's cute. That's fun.
Yes. So, and that's like one of the things where I became big on the show don't tell, because you could read the whole thing without losing any meaning in it, like, or any Age of Reptiles.
It's so much more powerful.
It's okay. So it's called The Age of Reptiles by Ricardo Delgado. I at least was in the same language. It was Hispanic with the name.
I think all my storybooks are still at my mum's place. All I can see in my shelf over here is encyclopedias and biology and chemistry books that I pour through like every now and again. I'm a sucker for reference books.
I'm gonna drop a link in the art and stuff share. So that's the Google Books, but that should bring up like some of the pages that so it's in the Discord server. But you guys can kind of see just and it all never failed to capture my imagination.
Spinosaurus. What?
Oh wow.
What a really cool style too.
Yeah.
Right?
There's so much movement with the lines. Oh yeah, I'm all over this, man. Dinosaurs. I never grew out of my dinosaur phase.
Oh right, yeah, no.
Absolutely not. Never.
And like I said, this, and what I think, like, as an adult now, looking back on it, what makes it so powerful is, once again, you can extrapolate what they're thinking, what they're just, like, through their behavior, but it's so subject to interpretation that it's like it's a visual interpretation. There's zero bias. Like, it's just dinosaurs.
I love the little border cartoons too. They're fun. Yeah. They're super cute.
I love these. Everything's so well color coded, and the textures, man. Dude.
Yeah, texture.
You can say a lot with no words at all. So it's like, and now of course for the Stars of the Sovereignty universe, something like this would not be plausible. Like, we could, but also there's actual people talking to each other.
Oh, Moshi talks too much. There's no way.
Yeah, but it is a feeling I do want to foster, that there be a lot of nonverbal parts. Like, I love aliens and predators, but there's at some points where it gets almost cliche when they're talking to each other and, just bantering back and forth before they go into the room of doom, and it's just like, it probably would have been more suspenseful if they didn't talk and were just like, actually acting like they're going into the room of doom.
Yeah. Wow.
So and that's another reason where I also didn't want to like rush a graphic novel version of it. Because I do want to foster that, and then also foster the inclusion of the feelings of the artists and stuff like that, and you guys. I don't mind it being pretty much like open source in terms of like contributions and thoughts and stuff like that. So it's like, you know what? We're gonna set this off to the side. We're just gonna let it marinate. All right, we'll let it marinate.
Yeah, that's cool, Lars. Wow, I'm actually taken aback by this book that you showed me. This actual really visceral moments.
Did you get to the red part?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, this is so cool.
Yeah, get stomped. Holy.
I mean,
Well, I
yeah,
figured
we're
that.
totally paying attention to you, Richelle, right now.
Yeah.
Totally.
You guys are just justifying my childhood fascinations, okay? It's totally fine.
That's so cool.
Oh.
Yeah, I love those sorts of books, especially what was the style that you called it? When you have you'll have a page of text, and then you'll have this full page spread of the awesome. Is that called something?
So the full page spread of art, that is just a full page spread, or depending on what it is, it could be an establishment scene or an epilogue scene or whatever. Or establishment. Wait, I think so. Anyway, so I mean, like, that's just the term for that in particular. But having a page of text specifically, and then, or like just text, and then the art on occasion is illustrated. That makes the book illustrated. A good example of what we could potentially do with Stars of Sovereignty is versus, as opposed to doing a graphic novel, is doing it like exactly that, illustrated novel. Looking at particularly Neil Gaiman's Stardust.
Yeah.
Where that
Actually,
was
one
like
thing that
50-50.
Yeah. One thing I do want to see, and I'm going to attempt to do it myself. I'm going to get a new tablet. I'm going to I want to do a comic book panel of when me and Moshi go to try and visit my wife. Just that interaction with the Guardians, because it was like, are you going to let me in? No. And then Moshi's face is like, the fuck? And then, like, it pans over to Zenori, and Zenori's like, "Urgh." Like he's slowly getting angrier and angrier with every panel.
Hulking out, man!
And then
I would love to do that for like those
Yeah.
little moments here and there. Like some of them are just so great.
Yeah.
Instead of
Yeah, I'd
bloopers,
love
they're
to
just
panel
goofers.
Yeah. Or like have like a Voltron, when Voltron comes together, have like Bertrand and mine and Sorn's sword and shield coming together like Voltron. That'd be wild. Yeah.
I'd love it. But alright, any other burning questions, desires? Joseph?
I think we did a good job.
Yeah.
I don't have any more.
I think I'm good.
Alright, well, yeah, like I said, I mean, it's not like we're never gonna see each other or talk to each other again. So if we end the stream, you're like, oh my god! Definitely the chat room will stay open. It'll always be there for you guys. And then also when we do, like, any of the little side quests, we'll coordinate there. But with that being said, closing thoughts. It was an absolute blast. Like, I want it, not miracle, like, it was a blessing to DM for you guys. Like, even though a couple of you were new to D&D and the whole night, you all were just amazing to have. And it's like, yeah, there was the waxes and wanes with, individual energies, but you guys held each other together, and, like, as a DM, all of the stakes, like, oh, this is like, oh, my thorn. All of the stakes aside, I had an absolute blast. Like, it just, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This was fun.
Yeah, thank all of you guys. It was amazing.
Yeah, good to meet you guys through it all. It was good.
Yeah, definitely. Hope we get to do our one shots and maybe future campaigns and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, and then, also
Fun,
gaming
never
in other games, like
Mhm.
Aliens, Blade Runner. On the list, I got quite a bit that we can do now. So there's tons out there. And, there's the Aliens, Blade Runner, Vaesen, which is a Nordic horror. Lord of the
Sounds pretty
Rings.
cool.
I'm getting all the Lord of the Rings ones.
Happy
Lord of
Hobbit
the
Day
Rings.
today, by the way.
Happy Hobbit Day.
Really?
I hope everyone has
Oh, it's not for me.
had their rounded 6 meals with 4 snacks. Okay.
My midnight snack's coming up.
Yes. And then we just got like the Old Gods of Appalachia. We also have not Vesper. That was a really cool movie. Not Vesper. Lancer, which is mech versus mech. Like, there's so much fun that we can have. So much fun. So for all of those odd ones, I'll do shout outs in the game chat. So definitely make sure you have your gamer tag, because I'll just do the @gamer in that chat. And now Discord has their notifications, so you can turn on notifications for like just one chat. Or just one like chat room, and I'm here for it, because I'm like, I only like need to pay attention to like 3 channels at every server. But that's where I will call out and host. The next one we are going to start doing a cinematic, which is like 3 or 4 sessions for the Aliens Blade Runner. So maybe Thursday nights, if that's something you guys want to be a part of. I'll do a call out Monday or Tuesday for that. It's similar to D&D, except it's a 6-die system instead of a 20-sided system, and it's
What's that called? Kids on Bikes or something? Anyway, doesn't matter.
Your Kids on Bike is one of those.
Yeah,
Monster
yeah.
of the Week is another one.
Yeah. The Warframe TTRPG is based on D6 system, so
Yes.
Oh.
Yep.
yeah.
But yeah, so either way, lots of fun to be had. Or if you guys wanted to DM your own games, we can set that up in the game chat.
Well, now that I know, it's just making stuff up as you go.
You could. You can do it.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, with that being said, we will officially conclude campaign 1.
Sad, but
Yay!
awesome. I
Yay
mean,
and
Bittersweet, baby.
it's bittersweet.
Bittersweet.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We done it.
We done it.
2 years. Like,
Oh,
almost 2
wow.
years
Wow.
exactly. Like,
True.
episode 1 was like September 29th or something like that. And we did the onesie twosie shot right before that. So it's been like exactly 2 years. Oh my god. So I love you guys. For everyone out there in the internet verse, of course, do all the internet rituals, the likes, the follows, the comments. And stay safe, stay nerdy, and we see y'all on campaign 2. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.